Lindenwood head coach Jed Stugart. Lions coming off a 1-point loss at Tennessee Tech. They're going to close out their regular season, their 10th and final game with Division II McKendree, former GLVC rivals. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Well, I was real proud of our guys. Battling Saturday against a lot of elements. We had a lot of wind in that game. I thought our guys handled the trip. They handled the. There's a lot of first. Every week is a first. It's a first place time playing somewhere. It's the first time playing. So we've kind of celebrated all year that this is a year of first, because every week there's something for the first time, and I think our guys have handled that really well. Just kind of an overall thoughts on our team and our game. Again, hats off to Coach Alexander. Really, I thought I told our team all week, you can't be schedule watchers. I saw how many close games these guys were in. We felt as a coaching staff. One thing about their team is that I admire is they battle to the end in every game, and you could see how many they're just a handful of points away from having a whole different record. And so we kind of knew that going in. I think our kids knew that too. I don't think we overlooked them at all, because I think that's not an easy. None of these teams we're playing in our league are easy games. I mean, and so I think our kids handled that, and even kind of with some of our struggles this year, and again, with all the movement that we've had to make on our defense right now, I'm really proud of how many guys have been having to step up and move positions and things. And we're not you're never happy if you just stare at statistics all the time. All we've kind of cared about is scoring defense and trying to get one more point than the other team. And so for our team to battle through that and then put together a final drive, a little bit similar to Central Arkansas, where we felt like if kind of who had the ball in their hands the last was going to win. And so we for our offense to put together a drive at the end of the game, take 6 minutes off the clock, and score with about 14 seconds left. We kind of knew probably halfway through that drive we'd kind of made the decision that we were going to go for two if we get a chance. Just because I felt like that's where our team was, and being on the road, and we weren't playing, I felt great overall as a team. I just felt like that decision we'd have a better chance there than and try to win it on the road there. So I don't second guess that. I think our kids were behind that, and they just they played great defense on that 2-point conversion, and we thought we'd get them in a different look, and they had a great defensive game plan against our offense. So I thought they did a great job, and I still think that's a really good team. Told our team that don't look at their record.
And I was going to ask for that 2-point conversion too, because you were moving the ball so well. Does that factor into it? Like, you have the momentum on that last drive. You went the length of the field. Like, let's end it there. Is that part of that as well?
Yeah, I had kind of made that decision in my mind because of that. I just felt like we had we were trying to we'd had some defensively, we had some injury issues that we had guys playing in some spots that gave their best effort and everything, but we were having a hard time stopping them, and with the momentum and with about when we got down about the 25-yard line, I think during one of the timeouts, I brought up a couple of our captains on the defensive side, because obviously the offensive captains were in the huddle, but I just even said, hey, this is where I'm thinking. What do you guys think as captains? Would you want to go for two here? You want to go to overtime? And the confidence they have in their offense, and saying, hey, let's put the ball in number 4's hands and see what he does with it. And so I think everybody was on board with that. But yeah, that's kind of why I came to that decision.
Now, Cade got sacked 10 times, but the other things he did and what he did in that last drive with his feet to get out of the pocket and make some things happen. Can you talk about that toughness when you get knocked down 10 times?
Yeah, Cade he'll be the first to tell you some of those sacks were on him. I mean, just, kind of again, defensively, I thought they did a really nice job. There's a few times I think early on, Cade was trying to be too patient in the pocket. And I think the second half where he's one of those guys that, can go make plays with his feet. And I think, the second half he started going back to doing that a little bit. But, I think, again, I give so much credit to them as far as defensively had a great game plan against us. And because Cade, when he gets out and starts running around a lot of, he can start making a lot of plays. And I think, so some of those he kind of put on himself, some of those sacks, some of it's just good defensive line play by them. I mean, I think, that's in the trenches. I was real impressed with their front guys and on both sides of the ball. But he's a mental tough kid, and he's able to turn the page quickly and not let some of those things bother him. And that's kind of a little bit like in a stress situation. I feel really good with the ball in Cade's hands that and why we kind of made that decision there at the end.
So you're going to play a team you've played before, you're familiar with, and just looking over at their stats, lots of offense. And so do they remind you of any team that you've already played this year? How do you match up with them that way?
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with McKendree. We've played them the last 2 years, and there's a lot of offenses are all looking fairly similar. Kind of crosses over the college field, and so there's a lot of similarities. We'll see they're spread out a little bit too. You'll see a lot of 10 personnel. You'll see I have not just been diving in a little bit more because I kind of watch all three phases. So as I'm kind of I don't game plan much. I'm kind of get a feel for and kind of be the devil's advocate in these offense defensive meetings when they want me to a little bit, or see things that stick out to me. But it's one of those teams where, they had a tough loss last week. It's their last game. It's our last game. I think, again, really trying to mentally win this battle this week of not having our guys looking at records. This is a team that hasn't beat us, and they're going to be very motivated to, last chance to play us. It's senior day. There's going to be a lot of incentive. It can kind of be it can kind of neutralize all their frustrations they've had in their season by coming up here and beating Lindenwood. And so I think that's going to be their mindset. And I think our kids, being senior day for us, a lot of things to celebrate this year, first era in Division I. I think there's a lot to play for. I think our guys will respond well. This loss stung a lot to them. It just felt like, they had an opportunity to win, and you got to get over that and move on. So I think they'll respond well.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best luck in this final game, and we'll talk to you next week to wrap up the season.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you, man.